It's Jim. How's it going? And today we're going to be looking at a pretty fun bike from Hilltopper Bikes. This is their gravel bike, a Hilltopper Bike Company, maybe more properly. So let's get in there a little closer on the photos here, and then we're going to get out and ride this, and then we're going to be on some trails. Trying to give you some good shots here of this guy. It's just, I think it's a really good looking bike. And this is the small frame, small medium frame. And I'll put here on the screen some of the dimensions that I measured with this small frame, just so you can reference them. I have a 32-inch inseam, and that's where I have my seat position for this particular setup. Front we got Textro mechanical disc brakes with a 160 millimeter rotor, and we're going to come back. We got these Kenda Flint Ridge Sport 650B by 45C tires, and we're coming back on through to 170 millimeter cranks with those pretty decent plastic platform pedals, and the kickstand is in, you know, that position that some people identify with having some pedal lock issues, and you got the same mechanical disc brake there on the rear. Coming here on the back, we got the 350 watt rear hub motor. Got a trusty bottle cage over there, which is nice. I put on the bottle cage, it has the bottle cage bosses. We got that nice front rack here on the front side there, of course, that came with the bike. We got the quick release wheel there on the front, the battery key lock. I'll show how that comes off first. Here in a second, I'll show how that pops off the battery. Come down into the 40 millimeter front chain ring, which is going down along a pretty nice 11 to 42 9-speed rear cassette with an Advent Microshift, I said that backwards, rear derailleur that just has a real good crisp shifting feel to it. Seems like a nice upgrade. You might notice there that we have a little different type of bottom bracket spindle, which is usually indicative of a little nicer drivetrain componentry. 27.2 millimeter seat post. Nice seat, unbranded, feels quite good. The narrower seats like this, they don't look as comfortable, but it's kind of a misnomer. A lot of times they are actually more comfortable. So it comes through here, and so it looks like they're actually calling this the Discover gravel bike. I don't know how I missed that before. Come up to the handlebars. We got a nicely labeled top cap there on the stem. And we come over here, we got pretty nice locking grips. And over on the side, we got these more like a 3-finger lever coming over. And then we got this little tiny display with a power button on the top. And I'm not sure if, you know, it's flickering there on the screen. It's not flickering in real life. You'll notice a nice number of braze-ons there for your attachment pleasures. The front rack has a good, solid feel to it. I can't remember if it even has a weight rating on it. If it does, I'll put it on the screen. And you got a you know, a variety of disconnects in here with a nice, you know, modest label. And you know, I like the play of the black forks with the black, you know, black battery. I just think it all works well together. I weighed the bike at 40. I think it was 44 pounds with the rack. I'll correct that on the screen if it's differently. I'll put that on the screen regardless. You know, it's a pretty light feeling bike, and that battery, as I'm going to show here in a second, is just 5.5 pounds. I just want to show really quickly how you pop the battery out. Couldn't really be easier. You just go like that, it releases it, pops out. It's a little 5.5 pound, 36 volt. It's 11.6 amp hour, so a pretty small battery. But as we'll talk about as you're riding here, I've gotten quite good range with it. And there's your charge port there. It's a standard 2 amp charger. It's been taking me between 5 and 6 hours typically to recharge it. So it just pops into place and you're done. One thing that helps to remember whenever you're riding a bike like this, when you have a nutted rear wheel, it's good to have or a front wheel, it's good to have a small wrench that will fit some of those things, along with multi-tools and flat repairs and that kind of stuff. These tires aren't bad, but they don't feel like they have much of a flat protection layer. Kenda makes a lot of tires I'd say the tires are probably one of the first things I would replace if I was riding this bike a lot. So hopefully our camera angle's working for you. This bike, because of it, like on those dimensions, it has a little bit of a long of an effective top tube. So that puts you in a little more inclined position. I'll put on a picture of here of how I actually had the bike set up when I was doing most of my range testing. This is in the stock format. I don't want to ride off-road with that stem extension on here, even though there's plenty of cabling in here to allow me to do that 6-inch extension. It was really nice. So that was assist level 0. For me, hard to ride much above 10 miles per hour. Assist level 1, it's right about that same is where the assist cuts off at 10 miles per hour, but I'm going to climb this hill here. It's a pretty decent hill. Just letting the assist work. The beautiful thing about this torque sensing hub motor, the way they have the electronics, is they have a fairly low required torque input. And, oh thanks. And it just allows you to smoothly, you know, you can have like that guy can climb hills. But it has the torque amount is low enough that you can really spin your legs and still get some assist without having to push. So you get a lot of the benefit of both torque sensing and cadence sensing with a properly set up torque sensor. So we're going to bump up into assist level 2, noting it is very difficult to see that small number when you're riding. So we're getting assist up to about 14 here, and then we'll get up to about 17 or so. That's what I've been seeing in assist level 3. Yep, they're cut out by 17. Now assist level 4. The amount of force in the assist levels doesn't vary dramatically. It's more of the cutoff point. So this cuts off right at 20. So really riding above 20 miles per hour feels really difficult because you just went from assisted like 19.5 miles per hour to unassisted like 20.5, and it makes it feel really burdensome. I'm just going to sort of spin my legs up this hill. I'm in pretty high gear. The 750 watt motor seems, you know, a lot of people might scoff at this size of motor. I think it does a great job. I'm really surprised. Stability, spot on here. All right, I'm gonna go throttle only through the different assist levels here. Assist level 1. So you can see there the throttle is tied to the assist level caps. Not my favorite idea in the world, but I understand the reason that's done. The bike's gearing is really well set up. I'm not spinning out at 20. I'm right in the highest gear right now, but with a 40 tooth front chainring, I would expect to be spinning out because of the way bikes are usually put together, and I wasn't, and I'm not. So this is a pretty pleasant speed to ride on. So acceleration wise, as you saw, it's not the fastest bike on with its throttle. It's not meant to be. I'll put that on the screen. Braking wise, it did quite well, and I'm starting to do braking at 15 miles per hour 4 times, and I averaged that. These seem like a very basic brake lever and not anything fancy on the disc brakes themselves, but they must be a slightly higher level because it brakes really, it has really good brake feel. And I haven't done a single adjustment to this on brakes or the shifter. Everything was as dialed in out of the box as I've gotten a bike. Packaging was good, no damage in shipment. As far as range, I got in this highest assist level here, I got right at just a shade under 30 miles. And that's kind of riding at this between near 20 miles per hour. And I've done a couple other range tests, all easily over 20 miles to 25 miles, and plenty of battery remaining. Having really not a lot of watt hours, this lower power motor, if you're a person that likes bike riding, it feels, so right now I'm going at a moderate level of input. I'm getting some assist. Now if I just want to push a little bit, it bumps me right up to that assist level cap. I mean the speed limit cap. It feels like it has more there if I can change that speed limitation, and it doesn't look like I can. It's set at 32 kilometers per hour. Really wide handlebars, like I said, you end up with a fairly aggressive position. So for me, I find myself going up on my fingertips, and often like I had that stem riser, so my handlebars are here. That made a world of difference. The nice wide handlebars are great for control on some gravel and off-road stuff like we're going to do here in about 5 minutes. You can really appreciate when you've ridden this bike how light and nimble it is. The motor just has a little bit of whir, and sometimes you feel when it's under load, like low speed, speeding up, you'll feel a little vibration through the frame, but that really goes away when you get up to speed. So I'm going to do this hill in assist level 3. Assist level 3 is where I find myself riding mostly. It feels the most comfortable to me at this point with this bike. If you're somebody that wants to go 28 miles per hour, obviously this is not going to be the bike for you, and its price point, $2,500, a little high for maybe that speed to some people without integrated lights. But so this is a pretty steep grade. I'm not sure what it is. I'll put on the screen. It's different than it's not as steep as my hill climb grade. I'm just spinning my legs. Hopefully you can see that. And I'm gonna stop. You might not be able to really catch that with the road noise, but I'm not putting forth very much effort. Now the battery did just tick down the first mark, and we're at a little over 10 miles. Stopping here for a water break. Hydration is important. I just wanted to say a couple quick things about Hilltopper manufacturer spec-wise. I'll put this on the screen. So this retails for $24.99. I bought this on a Black Friday special. It was a pretty good discount at $1,500 at that time. I did have to wait a little while to get the small medium frame because I wanted everybody in my family to be able to ride it. Even though for me, I'm probably putting myself in because I have to have my seat quite a bit higher, so my fit might not be as great on it without that stem riser I mentioned. Some of the things that Hilltopper does that's really great is they donate a bike to Seattle area youth for every bike that's purchased. So kind of refreshing to see a company, everything's kind of supporting the Chinese marketplace. It's nice to see some company participating more in their local communities, which I think is awesome. I've already started to develop some chips on the chainstay. There's not a chainstay protector on here, so that might be beneficial if there was a chainstay protector. Yeah, right here on the frame, it's the Discover gravel bike. I'm going to discover some gravel. Kind of forgot to show before, pretty nice cable routing here. I mean, it's nice that the powder coating extends around the opening. I've seen some other bikes like that where they don't do this. Pretty seamless on the battery connection. There's no movement when it's in place. I just think it looks real sharp the way it's set up that way. Oh, that's what a difference. I mean, that's only a couple pounds of pressure, but man, the bike is it's got real good feel with these wide handlebars on this. Just real good control. I'm gonna hit it a little bit hard over through here. It's just gravel, it's nothing fancy, of course, but maybe we'll find something a little more interesting through here. I'm gonna follow this little trail here, why not? This is like a little looser gravel, looks like, so I kind of like the idea. Oh, nice. Well, this is fun. Oh yeah. you gotta pick it up a little bit more. You know, if you live in an area like this where you could actually commute to work, and you're like, oh, well, you know what? I want to hit a few trails on the way home. It's a fun thing to be able to do. That's kind of like the beauty of some of the old cyclocross bikes. That's probably what attracted me to this bike. I used to ride a fixed gear cyclocross bike as a commuter. And I enjoy the compact rear. The compact chainstays in the rear just give you a real nimble feeling bike. So after we did reduce that tire pressure for the trails, it does transmit to a little bit better ride here out on the path as well. Alright, I've never been on this trail. Hopefully it's not too bad. Alright, gonna try one more thing here. Just talk to a nice fellow. Like I said, I rode BMX bikes. I'm probably doing some stuff technically awful, but I have stayed on the bike, so that's a pretty good sign. Alright, well this might be a little bit more than the old Hilltopper bargained for. But here we go. Let's see if we can do this. Gonna try. Wow. So this is why you do stuff like this, right? Look at this. Look at this spot. This is gorgeous. Oh man, well that was flipping fun. That was just so much fun. Nice. Thanks for joining me. Looking at the Discover gravel bike from Hilltopper. It's been a lot of fun to rip around these hills. I found a nice tree in bloom out here on the trails, and I'm gonna go rip around some more. So some of this footage might be in front of this, and then I'm gonna finish my ride home, and I'll put a relive video on the total mileage and what it took to recharge and all that stuff. There'll be some data I'll try to put on the screen, also down in the description. So I'm really hoping to help you out. If it does, leave me a thumbs up, consider subscribing, and we'll talk to you again soon. Thanks. Catch the wave.